All right, everybody. Ready to get unshakable? Picking up this Tony Robbins book. I got to admit, I thought it was going to be, all about getting rich quick.
Yeah, I hear that.
But he's got that rep.
Totally. But this one really surprised me. It's way more about like building that confidence in your finances no matter what's going on out there in the market.
Exactly. And it's not just him riffing. He's got insights from like Ray Dalio, Carl Icahn. We're talking Warren Buffett even.
Seriously, it's like a cheat sheet from the best of the best.
It really is.
So where does this whole unshakable thing actually begin?
Well, he jumps right into this idea of like financial winter and like everyone, hold on, because those downturns that make everyone sweat.
Oh, yeah.
They're coming. But he connects it to like over a century of market history. It's really interesting. Okay, now you're talking, history class was not my favorite, I gotta be honest.
But think of it like this bear markets, those scary downturns.
Yeah.
They're not unusual. They're like a regular on the market scene. They happen way more often than anyone wants to think about. It's true.
So it's not if the market will crash, it's WAN.
And how much, right?
Okay.
That's the thing. That's the shift.
Yeah.
He actually calls these truth bombs freedom facts. One of them is that market winter really happens every single year, just like different sizes, Some are blizzards, some are just a little chilly, but they're always there.
Huh. That actually makes me feel better, weirdly. Like I should expect rain and not be surprised by a thunderstorm.
Exactly.
But okay, so if downturns are basically guaranteed, how are we supposed to prepare for something that feels so unpredictable?
And that's why this book is so cool, because he breaks down not just surviving those winters, but like maybe doing really well during them.
Okay, now you're talking my language because I'm still having flashbacks to 2008.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like the whole thing was over.
Yeah.
But even then, some people were buying beach houses with their earnings.
No way.
It's true. He talks about investors like Sir John Templeton, who was buying stock. It was going out of style during World War II.
During the war.
Talk about going against the grain, right?
That's wild. So he made bank though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but I'm not investing in a war zone, so how does that translate to like my 401k?
That's what's great. He doesn't just tell the stories. He makes it practical, something anyone can use.
Okay, lay it on me, because reading this actually made me question some things. Like, I always thought financial advisors were the answer to those market dips.
Yeah, that's a common one, but he doesn't sugarcoat it. He goes right into how relying only on them, especially when it comes to fees.
Oh, the fees. He dropped some scary numbers about how even tiny percentages can eat you alive over time, like a slow leak in your bank account.
Exactly. Money you don't even realize is gone. He's really big on understanding what you're paying for and looking for more transparent options.
You love those index funds, right? Just tracking the whole market instead of playing guessing games with stocks.
Exactly. And he's got backups. Even quotes Warren Buffett, who, let's be real, knows a thing or two about this. Buffett's all in on low-cost index funds for most people long term.
Well, if it's good enough for Warren Buffett.
Right. And it's not just the fees. It takes some of that emotion out of it. When you're trying to time the market, you're basically betting against everyone else.
And we already talked about how bad our brains are at those emotional financial decisions. Loss aversion, he calls it, that urge to sell everything when it dips, like it's all disappearing.
Like our brains are still back in the Stone Age. Stock market dips. Same reaction as a saber-toothed tiger,
But instead of fighting back, we run for the hills, handing over our wallets on the way out.
Exactly. So the question is, how do we fight back against our own instincts? That's where he brings in his core 4 principles, like a cheat sheet for building that unshakable financial future.
Okay, hit me with this cheat sheet. What are these core 4 principles?
Right. The first one, he calls it asset allocation.
Okay.
You know that don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Oh, yeah, my grandma used to say that all the time. She was big on spreading the risk when it came to baking cookies mostly, but,
Exactly. But it's the same for your money, right?
Okay.
So it's about how you're dividing up your money strategically between all the different buckets, like stocks, bonds, real estate.
So not just picking the hot stock everyone's buzzing about.
No. He actually calls those siren songs,
Oh.
They lure you in with these promises of like instant riches, but you end up crashing on the rocks.
Okay, yeah. Those Odyssey flashbacks are coming back to haunt me. But how do we actually do that asset allocation thing?
Yeah.
Seems like everyone's got a different opinion.
Well, that's where having a good financial advisor can really help.
Okay.
He talks about how important it is to find somebody you trust, someone who gets where you want to go with your money. But also, and this is key, that they're a fiduciary.
Fiduciary. Remind me what that means again.
So a fiduciary is legally obligated to put your interests ahead of their own,
Oh, okay.
which means they're not pushing you towards some investment that's going to make them a huge commission.
Right.
They're really trying to help you get where you need to go.
Gotcha. So it's like having a financial coach in your corner.
Exactly. And speaking of teams, he's big on not doing this alone.
Okay.
Like actually getting a bunch of different perspectives, building a network of people that you trust.
Okay. The more the merrier.
Exactly.
So we've tackled that asset allocation. What's next?
Okay, number 2, understanding asymmetric risk reward.
Ooh, that sounds complicated.
It sounds fancy, but it's actually pretty simple.
Okay.
Imagine this. You're making a bet. Would you rather have the chance to win $100?
$100
Yeah. But you risk losing only 10.
versus losing like 90. Yeah. I'll take door number 1, please.
Exactly. See, that's asymmetric risk reward in action.
Okay.
It's looking for investments where the potential upside is way bigger than what you could lose.
Okay.
Big names in finance use this all the time. We're talking Carl Icahn even.
Wow.
It's a proven strategy.
Okay, so instead of asking when will the market crash,
Yep.
I should be asking how much could I lose on this versus how could I gain?
Exactly. It's all about managing that downside while keeping your eyes on the prize.
I like that.
He actually gives this example of master limited partnerships. They're called MLPs.
MLPs.
Yeah, most people don't know about them because they're not as exciting as like tech stocks or whatever.
Right.
But they can give you these incredible tax advantages. And they provide steady income, which is huge when the markets are going crazy.
Oh, that's good to have.
Definitely.
So it's about taking the long view, not just chasing the shiny thing of the day.
Exactly.
Okay, this is all making sense. Now I'm starting to see how the pieces fit together. What's next?
All right, number 3, and this one's a bit less glamorous, but oh, so important. Tax efficiency.
Okay, because it's not what you earn, it's what you keep, right?
Exactly. You could have these amazing returns on your investments, but then taxes come along and just like...
Take a big bite.
Exactly. Robbins talks about this, how crucial it is to minimize that tax bite both now and when you retire. He's got a ton of really practical tips on this stuff.
So it's like finding those loopholes and outsmarting the tax man.
More like understanding the rules of the game and using them to your advantage. He talks about how the really wealthy investors, they structure their investments to like legally reduce their taxes. Smart, not shady.
Okay, I like that. So we've got our asset allocation, our asymmetric risk, and being smart about taxes.
Mm-hmm.
What's the last piece of this financial puzzle?
The last one, it might seem obvious, but it's diversification.
Grandma's back with her eggs in baskets.
She'd be proud. It's about spreading that risk, but he takes it even further. It's not just about owning different stocks, it's about different types of assets. Stocks, bonds, real estate, even precious metals like gold.
Really? Okay.
And then, and this is interesting, he talks about diversifying geographically too.
Oh, you mean like not just investing in the U.S.?
Exactly. Different markets, they don't always move together. One might be down, another's up. Having that international piece can actually lower your overall risk.
Like a safety net for your portfolio. If one part stumbles, the others can pick it up. It's really making me realize I had a lot to learn.
It's all about having a solid strategy, right? No matter what the markets are doing. And that's what these core 4 principles give you. That foundation for the unshakable future he's always talking about.
So we've got our core 4, our like financial foundation.
It's a good start.
Right. But it sounds like there's more to this unshakable thing than just spreadsheets and numbers.
Totally. Robbins actually goes deep into like the psychology of investing because even with the perfect plan, our brains can mess everything up.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. We were talking earlier about how fear can make you do some dumb stuff with your money, like selling everything the second the market dips.
Exactly. He calls it like a wiring problem,
Okay.
Our brains, they see a market dip and it's like a saber-toothed tiger all over again. Fight or flight kicks in, even though it's just numbers on a screen.
Like our brains haven't gotten the memo that it's 2024, not the Stone Age. So if we're wired to freak out, what can we do about it?
That's where Robbins gets really helpful. He doesn't just point at the problem, he gives you tools to fix it.
Okay, I like the sound of that. Give me some tools. What kind of things are we up against here?
Well, we talked about loss aversion, right? Hating to lose more than we like winning.
Yeah, that one hits home.
But there's others too, like overconfidence bias, thinking we're way better at this than we actually are, taking crazy risks because of it.
Ooh, I've been there. Easy to think you're Warren Buffett after like one good week in the market.
Exactly. And then there's confirmation bias. That's when we only listen to stuff that agrees with us, even if it's wrong. Surrounding ourselves with yes men. you know?
Yeah, like only reading headlines that fit my worldview, not even realizing I'm doing it.
It's so common. Robbins says we got to fight that, look for different opinions, be ready to change our minds even.
So it's like having a plan for my brain, not just my portfolio.
Exactly. He even tells the story about a checklist he made with Paul Tudor Jones, the hedge fund guy.
Wait, even those Wall Street guys use checklists.
Oh, yeah. It takes the emotion out, makes it more like a system. Robbins says that's key, having a system. Could be a checklist, could just be a friend you trust to bounce ideas off of.
Like a financial buddy system.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. But okay, let's say we've got our heads on straight, our portfolios are unshakable. Then what? What's the point of it all?
That's what I love about this book. He actually answers that.
Okay.
He's like, what's the point of having it all if you're miserable, right?
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
He talks about how important it is to make sure your money goals match what you actually care about in life.
Okay.
Like spending time with people you love. Maybe you finally want to start that pottery studio you've always talked about.
Right.
Giving back to your community, or even just like appreciating the little things more, you know?
So it's about figuring out what really matters to you and then letting your money support that.
Exactly. He calls it like living in a beautiful state.
I like that.
He talks about Oprah, Bill Clinton even, and how it's not really about the money in the end. It's about building a life that makes you excited to wake up in the morning, you know?
So Unshakeable isn't just a finance book. It's like a life design guide, too.
Exactly. You get the tools to be good with money, sure, but also to be happy and like fulfilled, which, let's be honest, is what we all really want, right?
100%. This has given me a lot to think about, honestly, not just about my investments, about everything.
Me too. Always makes you look at things a little differently.
I'm glad we did this deep dive together. It was awesome. Thanks for being here.
Anytime. Always a good conversation.
And for everyone listening, let us know what really stuck with you from Unshakeable. What are you going to change starting today to make your life more unshakable? Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep diving deeper.